is a writer, a teacher, a therapeutic teacher, caregiver, nurturer, wife, mother, daughter, sister, grandma, businesswoman, and a pure spirit with a human cover. She's written a book called I'm Not Your Mop. I can't say the word on air, so that is why I'm using mop. And she's here to tell us about her book signing that's going to happen this Sunday, and also how, after having written the book on her abuse as a child, has shaped her future. And writing the book, how has her life changed? Mumtaz Mahal Suliman, Salaam Alaikum. Welcome to the program, and wonderful to be talking with you once again.
Barakatuh. Thank you, Auntie Julie, for being brave enough to invite us. So
absolutely.
We found a way to help the people. If the title is troubling the eyes or the murat is troubling the eyes, just put a Band-Aid plaster on it.
Absolutely. Well, I've said I'm not your mop. And, people can fill in what they believe that word stands for. They need to get the book to understand what it's all about. Mumtaz, wonderful to be talking with you once again. Are you excited about this coming Sunday? It's really about the signing of your book. What type of feedback have you received thus far on the book? Because it is autobiography. It is an autobiography of your life, is it not?
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. Auntie Julie, I've had some incredible responses. And the important thing for me is that in 10 days, I sold 200 books. Wow. The next thing is that my message has gone out. So by the time the people have read the book, they've forgotten the title, the profanity of the title. So I've had people reaching out to me like you cannot believe, saying, thank you for giving me a voice. I resonate with so much that's been said in every chapter. So I mean the chapters that touch on GBV, on sexual molestation, on racism, on hypocrisy, on gossip, every single thing is in there. So there's people that really do. I mean, I'm even getting people who are not Muslim. And for me, I feel that my intention was greater than the action, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's word and his message is getting them. I've also attracted the kind of people that have said, I left Islam because people shut their doors on me. I was ostracized. And they found the purity of my statement where I say, people shut their doors on me, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never did. And so they want to reach out to the mat and the book because of the way I have put those words in. And I keep saying it's not me. I'm just a vessel. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has gifted me this opportunity. I'm just the vessel.
So, Mumtaz, we are now in the 16 days of activism of no violence against women and children. Of course, there are men who are victims of abuse as well. How do you feel about your book being so favorably received by the masses, knowing, what is so sad about this whole issue around GBV is it seems that it is so widespread, not only in South Africa, not only in the Muslim community, but globally. It is a huge issue. How do you feel about talking, about it now in this very special time? And we shouldn't be speaking about this issue only during this time. It should be top of mind 365 days a year. But seeing that 16 days have been put aside for this issue, what do you want to say? What do you want to say to other people that experience similar abuse that you have?
I want to share with other people that you never have to feel not good enough, and you never have to feel the fear of judgment, because I think at the end of the day, people stay stuck in abuse because of judgment. Where will I go? What will the people say? It happens to everybody. I mean, they need to understand that these 16 days of activism this year, for some odd reason, is fantastic because people are coming out and they're not afraid anymore. And I think it's people like me, people like Bakra Mohammed, There are so many writers that are coming out and liberally speaking about their issues. So people can relate to people like us. It's not just some novelist somewhere that they cannot touch, some celebrity somewhere. This is a normal person. And so this is giving them the freedom to come out and speak with it. Also, the platforms that are receiving them so openly is unbelievable. So people are feeling safe. They need to have a safe space. And 16 days of activism does raise that awareness, and we're not going to eradicate the situation completely because
Are
it's
you
still going to
shocked?
happen.
Okay. Are you shocked or surprised, or does it not come as a surprise to you knowing that so many girls and women in our community specifically have been victims and are still victims of gender-based violence, whether they were molested sexually as children or they're being abused in a romantic or a marital relationship?
I am surprised because the people that are reaching out to me have also been wearing their masks so carefully attuned. So I am surprised. I didn't realize that. Like I told you, for me, I thought it was normal at that time. And then as I grew up and as I went through the healing processes, I realized this is not normal. But then again, also the fear of judgment made me realize that people are not so free to talk about it. So yes, I am surprised. I'm surprised that people are coming out now, yet they are still afraid to go out public.
Mumtaz, what I find very interesting is I spoke to Thakira Mohammed last week. She's also an authoress like yourself. She's also documented the abuse that she's been through from a very tender age. She subsequently married, had children, divorced, and I think abuse has kind of almost followed her throughout her life. But having said that, she refuses to name her perpetrators. I think you did too. I think you wouldn't name your perpetrators openly. I'm wondering why. I'm wondering why the protection, or is it about my word against his or her?
No, not for that. For my reasons, simply, Auntie Julie, like I said, the perpetrators that I don't name, I've shifted to forgiveness. I've been on a journey. And if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can forgive, then why can't we? I am not saying it's correct. I am saying by us talking about it is going to stop it happening, to prevent it happening in the future. However, at the same time, I have shifted to complete forgiveness.
What we're also
We
told,
attracted.
carry on. Oops,
We
there
attract.
goes the phone.
I actually moved my place because we have the hairdresser that's at home.
Okay,
So I moved my
okay,
place.
all
So
right, okay.
I think that us souls that go through these things, if we don't experience that, we will not know how to heal others. Through my journey, I've also realized that hurt people hurt others. I mentioned before that you get a Peter and you get a Judas. So Peter has a bad day, Judas has a bad heart. The molesters have bad hearts. I have forgiven. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says you are given the choice of an eye for an eye or forgiveness. I stand to be corrected here, but if I forgive, I know that 70,000 angels are.
You are too generous. I kind of often wonder if I found myself in a space like that, would I be that generous to forgive? But Allah knows best. He is the supreme judge. But having said that, we are also told that the majority of abuse victims, whether they're male or female, go on and perpetrate abuse on other people throughout their lives. Did you have that experience? I know it's a very personal
Yes,
question. Did you
yes.
have that experience?
With my second perpetrator, I did have that experience. Like I said, when I first spoke out about it, I was told I'll be breaking a family unit. However, many years later, he was caught in the act with other girls in a bigger madrasa, and he was forced to leave the town. I
What
don't
do
know
you
what happened.
believe? What do you believe needs to be what needs to happen as far as perpetrators are concerned? I often hear, and very especially in the Christian world, you hear about Christian priests and pastors, etc., seem to be the biggest perpetrators in boarding schools, etc. And it's also these male priests that sexually abuse boy children, and those poor boys are scarred for life. A lot of them are so damaged that they go on to become perpetrators themselves, or their life is in total ruin. They end up in drugs or alcoholism or crime or whatever the case may be. Do you not think that perpetrators ought to be named, not necessarily shamed, but be given help so that they don't go on destroying other lives?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There needs to be that in place where they need to be named. They need to take accountability. It's like a friend of mine that spent 18 years in jail, a fellow writer. He spent 18 years in jail for moving a half a kilogram of cocaine in Thailand. So he was in Thailand, jail. But the 18 years had shifted him completely. So this is what needs to happen to perpetrators as well. They need to be removed from the society in a kind of an institution where they have time to reflect and
Okay,
reform.
so what's the connection with your friend having spent 18 years in? Was he a victim of abuse?
No, he wasn't a victim
Is
of abuse. He was just jailed for moving half a kilogram of cocaine. But he got 18 years in Thailand. And the thing, my
the
message here is
point?
that he shifted. Yeah, the point is that he shifted. When he was in jail, he worked on his artist skills. So now he's an amazing artist and he's a writer. And he's such an
I know who
incredible
you're
human
talking
being.
about. You're talking about Shani Krebs.
Yes.
I've interviewed him several times on my show.
Okay. Whoa. Isn't he an incredible human? I mean, he
Absolutely.
shifted.
It gives you hope in humankind, does it not? That you
Yes.
spend X amount in a jail for a crime, whatever the crime was, and you come out being totally rehabilitated. Maybe not
Yes.
squeaky clean, but rehabilitated and making a difference in society.
Society.
Your perpetrators, I mean, you've had a sellout when your book was launched. They obviously know that you were talking about them. Have any one of them ever reached out to you and possibly asked for forgiveness?
No.
How do you feel about it?
My
Were you
baggage is
expecting
gone.
it? Were you expecting it?
No. No. My baggage is gone. I've got no baggage.
Okay,
And
do
they
you
will.
think, carry on?
No, you go.
Okay, surely their close circle of family and friends must know that you are talking about them. What do you believe the responsibility should be here? Do you think that they should go out and try and help their loved one? Because it's not normal what they've done. It's not normal for a grown man to sexually abuse a young girl or a young boy. He's either mad or very bad or really sick in his head.
I think the families need to take responsibility and accountability, give him the help he needs and acknowledge it. But the fact that they cut you out completely says they're not in acceptance, that behavior.
And I should
And I
imagine
think
with a
for the
lot of
perpetrator,
these,
the
with a lot of
perpetrators
these perpetrators,
themselves, I think, mhm. I think it's punishment enough for them already knowing.
oh gosh, I wonder. I really wonder about that because surely, you know, what the little that I've heard and read about sexual abusers is not about the act of, you know, carrying out the act of sex on a child or a woman by force or whatever. It's really about control and power. So, how are they feeling that this control and power, they're not in a situation or in a position to exercise such control and power?
No, they're not. They're not in that position. But given our community and knowing who these people are is important. And knowing that people like us, like myself and Zakira, that are talking about it, they're killing themselves, Auntie Julie. Trust me, they're killing themselves.
I sometimes wonder about communities, we live in a very patriarchal community, and I'm not pointing fingers, but I'm just saying we're in a very patriarchal community, and people kind of close ranks, very especially if that perpetrator has position or if that perpetrator has money. People are not going to call him out, very sadly. I'm sure
No,
that's been your experience as well.
that's very true. And then you get the same people that are criticizing the title. And I'm saying, but read the book. What this guy's done is worse than the title.
Yeah, that 4-letter word.
Yes.
Okay, tell me, the book's done and dusted, so to speak. Your sales have been phenomenal. Where to here for you, Mumtaz? Is there a second book? Or are you waiting for a second and a third printing? And what about subsequent books, and what would they be about?
I am waiting for more for a second run on printing because I still have to visit Durban and Cape Town and do my road trips. And yes, there is a second book. My publisher and I are already busy with it. We wanted some feedback from the readers, and some of them have said that they want to hear more. They feel that I haven't given them everything during my 6-year-old. And I said, that's because the 6-year-old hasn't been fully healed. The 10-year-old has, and the 20-year-old has, but the 6-year-old. So I'm thinking the second one is going to focus a lot on her journey.
Okay, on the 6-year-old's journey.
And then also,
your 6-year-old persona.
My 6-year-old persona. I've also had a lot of NGOs reaching out to me, and I'm offering my services there. I say once again, my workshops and my after healing and whatever healing modalities I've had is open. Make use of it. Alhamdulillah, from the last interview that we've had and since the release of the book, people are reaching out. I think I've already got 20 people that need a workshop as soon as I'm back from holiday in January.
Okay, brilliant. 21 with me, by the way. Okay, what's the event on Sunday all about?
The event is a launch. She's coming out of the closet. We've got your referral, Ahmed, that will be doing our broadcast on YouTube. And it's going to be nice. I'm going to be celebrating with so many of you our success and our message, because this isn't about me, it's about us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also going to have a few people representing the NGOs there. Action Something and Health Warriors from Cape Town. And I've invited somebody from Lodium as well. So inshallah, it's going to be nice. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you. And I must tell you that those of you who are attending are very brave, because many people don't want to be associated with the title. They haven't even given us a chance to read our content and see how brilliant it is. They just don't want to associate themselves with the title. So alhamdulillah, barakallah fikum. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed me with people like you that are brave.
Alhamdulillah, I think you're the brave one, but be that as it may, I know it's going to be a wonderful day, and your message, apart from reaching out, running workshops, doing the Afia healing, do you have plans on meeting other women who were broken, other men and women that were victims of abuse from a very early age, and to help them heal? And what would that process look like, Mumtaz? I should imagine, even for you to take someone through, to sit and listen, to sit and hold someone's hand and listen to their story, would stir up a lot of emotions in you as well, bring back lots of ugly, horrid memories for you.
I'm looking forward to that. I've partnered up with Razia Mohammed and Shanaz from Jimmy's. The interesting thing is all these people are coming out and they're willing to help others. I also think that it's going to be great for me, for my healing process, because when you're healing others, you're healing yourself. So I'm looking
Did you
forward
find, right, so you were a victim of abuse from a very, very tender age. You then went on, alhamdulillah, married, had children, and you've built a life for yourself. That's not to say that it was a happily ever after life. You've had to do a lot of hard work to possibly find acceptance, for people to believe you, to hear your story, and to say, I understand, or it's okay, or I hear you, or I accept you as you are, scars and all. How's that been for you?
You have two choices every day. You either stay stuck as the victim, why me, why me, why me? I was pushed to such a corner, and I think that I've got to thank my husband, Mohammed, for coming into my life and pushing me into that corner so I could then stand up, take my power back, and say, I deserve better. I want to make these changes. I've got to get up every morning. I've got to pray. I've got to exercise. I've got to eat nutritiously. I told you I was bordering 80 kilograms, but I made these choices for myself. And alhamdulillah, I think I'm in a super awesome space right now. But it's every day working with these tools. You cannot say one day I'm going to skip it, because if you skip it over a weekend on a Monday, you're damn ungrounded. You're just not grounded. So
It
it's
seems to
every
me,
day
by
taking
talking to
tools.
you, it sounds as if having written this book and sharing your story with the world has actually freed you from that bondage of a victim.
Yes, it has. Do you remember your first interview with me? And you remember, now you see this interview. I'm in a lacquer space.
Mashallah, mashallah. Okay, let's wrap up, and your very special message to victims of abuse the world over in these 16 days of no violence against women and children, and about bravery, about standing up, about being counted, about being heard, and about not feeling shamed for telling your speaking power to your truth.
Did I lose you there?
I can hear you. There you go.
My message is, let my journey, inshallah, inspire you to remind yourself how beautiful you are, and that you are worthy, and that you do deserve the best, and take your power back. Don't be
And
anybody's mock.
a victim should never believe that they did something wrong. They encouraged all this unwanted attention and abuse. How do you break away from that? How do you kind of say, I'm not to be blamed for this? Because a lot of, I came across an article the other day where I think it was a local Cape Town woman who was saying that she wants women who've been raped and sexually abused to go out and make a stand, and to dress and to dress up the way they were dressed when they were abused. Because what the suggestion is, it's not the way you were dressed. It was the ill intention. It was the sick mind of an abuser. So even if you were covered from head to toe in a blanket, that perpetrator would still have abused you.
I fully agree with that. However, for a woman to get to that, or a man to get to that space, they need to be completely healed. And for that complete healing, they need to find self-love. Until you don't completely love yourself and let go of that deep, dark secret inside, you're always going to be a prisoner, and you're never going to feel strong and brave enough to go out. So by me writing this book and really letting all my laundry out there, I've let go of all my dirty secrets, things I thought I was guilty of, because you feel dirty, you feel not good enough. You reach this place of feeling so good enough and so much of self-love and self-care that you do feel brave enough to go out and talk about it. So what these people need is healing. First step is healing and self-love. And they need to reach out to whoever's giving them, offering them this kind of hope.
And
You know, a
just
lot
know
of
that it
people,
was not your fault.
no, it's not your fault. And a lot of times you don't go also because you think, oh my gosh, it's so expensive, I can't afford that. Don't let that stop you. Find somebody who's going to help you, someone you resonate with.
And on that note, then, thank you indeed for being with us. And My word, you certainly have changed from the first interview. What confidence, what power. Alhamdulillah. And may you
MashaAllah.
continue to grow from strength to strength. Salaam
Ameen.
alaikum to you.
Ameen. Look forward to seeing you on Sunday.
Inshallah, inshallah. That was the brave Mumtaz Mahal Suliman, a writer of a book called I'm Not Your Mop. Talks about being abused from the age of 6, and she documents her very, very torrid life in this book. And I think it gives hope to people who are victims of abuse. Still to come, we'll be talking to a clinical psychologist, Joanne Lasky, or Lasky. She's going to tell us how to survive domestic abuse and taking back your power.